Coming up on today's show, the Guards are on a skid. Things are looking rough, and it's time to put pressure on the front office. The list of unsuccessful prospects throughout the years has become too much to handle. We'll take a look at the last decade of Cleveland baseball top prospects to see just how bad they've been at developing hitters. And trade season is in full swing. Will the Guardians buy, sell, or hold at the deadline? All that and more, starting now.
Help.
3 guys, 2 generations, 1 baseball team. Just when you thought there were too many mediocre Guardians podcasts, we're here to bring you one more. This is the Die Hard Guards podcast with your hosts Brent, Tim, and Zian.
This is the Die Hard Guards podcast. I'm your host, Brent, here with my father, Tim.
Hello.
And my brother, Zian. Today's episode is brought to you, as always, by our friends at FOCO. FOCO is one of the leading manufacturers of officially licensed sports collectibles. They have incredible product options from bobbleheads to apparel and more. Find the best Cleveland Guardians gear at FOCO.com. That's FOCO.com. Or click on the link in the description below and use the code DHGuards10 to save 10% at checkout. Offer applies to in-stock FOCO products only. Pre-order items do not apply. Find your fandom with FOCO.
Again, I think they do have the best bobbleheads. We say that every
I'm
week.
pretty sure. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
Go buy those bobbleheads.
Yeah, check them out. Use our code. Okay, so today we're going to do something a little different. We're not going to talk about the misery on the field.
The misery.
Everybody's been talking about the misery on the field.
Well, let's
talk about the misery off the field.
Wait a minute.
We're going to talk about the misery off the field.
No, there's a lot of people talking about that too. Let's not talk about that either.
Listen, wait a minute. We got to put this in perspective. Okay, listen. Here's the problem in our last week of play. Okay?
The problem? There's one problem.
The bright spot in our lineup right now
has been an off day.
Is that Jose and Steven Kwan are both hitting 240 in the last week. 240, and they are the bright spots for our team. They are the bright spots hitting 240. Everyone else is sub.
Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a great show.
Sub 200. That's where we're at right now, folks. This is a bad week of July. Oh God.
No, it's June. It's June.
Yeah.
It's June. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah, we end of July would be really nice right about now. So what we want to do today, we want to go through the list, and we want to expand on our show from a couple weeks ago. We're just kind of fed up. I would say
we beat everybody up a little bit last week. Last week we beat up the front office a little bit about how they hold back our minor league guys, how they give some guys long chances and other guys don't get those chances. We did a lot of that.
Well, they responded by having their worst week of the year.
So. Correct.
So they've obviously been listening.
But they did it with the same players.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the problem.
They didn't.
So some might say that the organizational philosophy when it comes to prospects is lacking. I would say there is no organizational philosophy for prospects.
No, we clearly said it last week. There is an organizational philosophy.
But what is it, though?
Draft undersized, contact first.
Think about this.
No, it's their time manipulation. Clearly,
but think about it. Think about it. What do you do with that service time manipulation? Right. You don't do anything with it because by the time they're ready to play,
we've ruined them. We've already ruined them. With how many AAA at bat? How many 2,000 AAA at bats is what you need to move up for the Guardians organization?
Apparently.
By then, you're what we call a quad A player.
Yeah,
you're never going to become a good major league adjustment hitter, but you can kill AAA pitching.
I mean, how many guys?
Noel went
back down.
Noel couldn't hit a ball.
He's Albert Pujols in AAA.
He went back in AAA, hit 2 home runs.
Jhonkensy Noel has, I think,
like
almost exactly 300 plate appearances in Major League Baseball, and he easily has double that in AAA.
Yes, and why? Because we talked about it. AAA pitching. These are pitchers working on their pitches to get them to the major leagues.
Well, no,
they're not working on trying to get everybody out.
That's double A pitching. AAA is where you go when you get shelled in the MLB.
When you get sent down.
Double A is
just
where
not
you
that
work on
good.
pitches.
But my thing is this: you're working on stuff as a pitcher, okay, in the minor leagues. As a hitter, all you need to do is figure out what pitches they're throwing and try to hit them. So
Yeah, in AAA, you could see a 26-year-old who's trying to get back to the major leagues, and he's trying to develop a new slider.
yes,
And he's working heavily on that slider. And guys are sitting on that slider because it's not a good pitch yet.
right, and you're hitting home runs. So
There you go.
but
The
then when
scouting
you come-
report is out. You
and
know
when
what
you-
he's working on.
And when you come up to the major leagues, they have a full scouting report on where your weaknesses are as a hitter, and the pitchers attack those weaknesses. And if you can't make the adjustments and say, "Hey, the Guardians are sitting in the dugout telling Noel and everybody else, listen, here's how they're pitching you. We have the video, we have the spots, we know exactly how they're pitching you. This is what you're not hitting well. That's why they're attacking you there." And if you can't make that adjustment as a hitter, then you don't make it in the major leagues. It's really that simple. But we're not doing those things to make the adjustments. Our players are not capable of making those adjustments because they've taken 5,000 AAA at bats.
It's not a secret. Adjustments in Major League Baseball are cyclical. You come up, you maybe get hot for the first month. The league writes a book on you. Then they exploit your weaknesses. Then you adjust to how they're pitching you. Then they exploit your other weakness. Then you adjust to how they're pitching you. It's constant, and it's gonna be that way. Freddie Freeman, the guy, they pitch him different yearly because they have to find a way to get him out,
Right.
and he has to adjust to how they're pitching him.
But again,
That's just how Major League
the
Baseball is.
really good major league hitters make the adjustments so that you're constantly looking for their weakness. When they find your weakness and they go there, they go to the well until you hit it. And if you can't make the adjustment as a hitter, then your career is short.
I think it was Chris Jimenez in the broadcast the other day, and he said it perfectly. He said, what makes Jose Ramirez so great, and I think it was him. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But he said what makes Jose Ramirez so great is his ability to adjust, not just game by game, but at bat by at bat and pitch by pitch.
Yeah, he can hit every zone.
That's why he's so great.
Yeah, and he makes you kind of puts you in a position where he waits for you to make the mistake and throw to where he wants you to throw.
That's what separates him.
Yeah, it really
So
does.
let's get into this here. Now that we've hit another rant, I want to start in 2015. I want to start 10 years ago. And what I did was I took the top 10 prospects from MLB.com starting in 2015. Okay, I'm gonna lay out some names, and let's just talk about them. Let's see what we can come up with here. Okay, number one on this list. I mean, this is probably the most obvious. The first one that usually pops into everyone's head is Clint Frazier, right? He spent the majority of his minor league career
as our top prospect, the majority of his minor league career.
Excuse me. The majority of his minor league career in Cleveland's system, okay? And, obviously he netted us exactly what we needed to get to the World Series that year, Andrew Miller. But what has he done as of late? Let's talk about Clint Frazier. How well did Cleveland develop him for when he went to New York and then Chicago and then maybe a stint in Milwaukee, was it? I don't know. Somewhere else.
But he did have 800 AAA at bats.
Yeah, of course. But you know what he's doing now?
Because we're manipulating his service time.
He had an 805 OPS in the Atlantic Indie Ball League in 2024. And that's the last baseball that he's played.
So we made a good deal there.
Well, I would say you won that trade. Yeah, for sure.
But
that's the beginning
listen,
of the problem.
Listen, people, we ruined his career. We didn't make a good trade.
We got Andrew Miller.
We turned a guy into a quad A player.
No, we turned a guy
That was our first. That was our
the best
first
lefty
look.
reliever of all time.
That was our first look. I get you, but that was our first look at
the
how
failure of developing hitters.
Our trying to manipulate service time was going to backfire on us and create guys who couldn't adjust to Major League Baseball because they spent so much time in the minor leagues. Clint Frazier was example number one.
Yep. Name number two. Very familiar to those of you listening, and if he's not familiar, then I don't know what you're here for if you don't know this name. Bradley Zimmer. What could you possibly say about Bradley Zimmer?
Looks like Waluigi.
5 tools on paper.
He's very fast. He's
very
tall.
fast. Had a
Listen,
good
hit the ball
arm.
far.
Listen, I'll put
Could
it
hit
this
the
way.
ball far.
There was nothing about his minor league career that led you to believe he wasn't going to be able to produce in the Major League Baseball at
Agreed.
center field.
Except for the fact he was in the Cleveland
except for the fact,
organization.
and then he didn't come up until how old was he? 25?
I don't remember.
24, 25
No, I
years
think
old?
he was a little younger than that.
And when he came up, he had a ton of minor league experience under his belt. He had been a really good hitter down there. And then he came up and he had a one hot streak. And then the Major League Baseball made the adjustment on Bradley Zimmer.
But do you know?
And that was the end of that.
Do you know what his hot streak was in Major League Baseball? A sub 700 OPS.
Well, that's true. But
That was his best year.
But that was his best year. And he never made adjustments after that. That was it.
He had one other decent Major League year, and he played less than 100 games.
Yep.
So,
So platoon guy.
and what has he done lately? As of 2023, he played 4 games in rookie ball for Boston.
Yeah.
So, take that for what you will. Next up on the list, Tyler Naquin. If that sounds familiar, it's because
He's still there. He's still pitching in Arizona.
He's pitching now
Pitching in
in
Arizona.
Arizona.
Wait a
I don't know
minute.
if he is anymore.
He's been in our system so long, he's still in the complex league.
You remember when I said that Major League
He's been
Baseball
in the
was
complex league
cyclical?
since 2015.
Yeah,
You remember?
that was a good minor league joke there. I like that.
Do you remember when I said Major League Baseball was cyclical? Well, if you suck as a hitter, they just start you over as a pitcher.
Now listen.
Remember Joey Gallo?
Time out. Tyler Naquin didn't always.
No,
suck as a
he
hitter.
did not. He did
Listen,
not.
he was actually a really good hitter for a little
He's
while for us.
Second in Rookie of the Year
Third.
voting behind Aaron Judge.
But
I thought it was
again-
second.
No, it was third behind Gary Sanchez.
But again, another guy.
and a pitcher.
Once Major League Baseball started exploiting his weaknesses, they just kept going to the well, and he did not. He could
He
not
had
adjust. Couldn't
he
adjust.
he put together. I don't have the numbers in front of me, and I should have them. So boo for me. But I think he put together a very solid 7 seasons in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Not full seasons.
Yep.
But respectable, but not top 10 prospect worthy.
No. But
So
on this list, easily.
he
the
might
best
be the
player.
best.
But
He
easily the
he
best.
may be.
Listen, on this list, he's easily the best player. By
He-
far,
he
it's
may
not even
just
close.
be.
Like, he shouldn't even be on this list. That's
Well, I'll
how
tell
much
you
better
what.
he
Clint
is
Frazier
than
probably
everybody
had a
else on the
better
list.
career.
Not Major League career.
You don't think?
Nope.
No way.
Nope. I looked at
No
it.
way.
Naquin clears him by far.
Yeah. Naquin,
Yeah, it's not even
Naquin's
close.
easily the best Major League player on this list.
Yeah, cumulatively, maybe Greg Allen, for being totally honest. But we'll get there. Next on the list, everyone's favorite, James Ramsey.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
Anybody? Anybody?
That
No.
guy.
That guy.
The guy that we got for Justin Masterson in that trade. Does anyone remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we sent him to the Dodgers with Zach Walters, and he never made the big leagues.
Yeah.
That's good.
But he was a top 10 prospect in 2015.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We
listen,
traded a top 10
I'm giving
prospect
us
Yeah,
a
for
pass.
cash.
in the past decade.
No, he wasn't. I think he was traded in
Hey,
2018.
listen, guys.
So
guys,
by then he was long gone.
Hold on. I got to give us a pass. I got to give our front office a pass on this one. Listen, why? Here's why.
Why?
I'm giving us a pass.
you've
No,
never
listen,
heard of him?
listen. We traded for the guy, right? We manipulated his time, but we didn't bring him up so he could hit 150 for us for 50 games
Agreed.
before we got rid of him.
Agreed.
We got rid of him while he was still in AAA, so we
Agreed.
get a pass
Yep.
on that one.
Yeah, we got paid for him. So
Yeah,
that,
we get-
you can get a
we'll
pass.
take a
for that.
pass.
A pass for the guy that no one's ever heard of.
Right.
Beautiful. Love it. Next name on the list, Francisco Mejia.
Catching superstar.
The
Something
greatest AAA
was supposed
catcher
to
of
be-
all time.
Well, I'll tell you what he's doing now. He had a 940 OPS in Mexico.
He's killing it.
So,
Hey.
he's hitting in Mexico.
Yeah, but Robinson Cano hit 400 in Mexico last year.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's not a very good league.
All right. Keep going.
Not much more you can say about that because he didn't
next-
want to be here anyway.
Oh, no, I see the list. Next one up is the worst. This is we ruined this guy's career.
No, wait. You
We
gotta.
ruined this
You
guy's
missed one.
Oh, we missed one.
Mike Poppy.
Oh, We didn't ruin it.
Big Poppy.
Yeah, Mike Big Poppy.
We had him.
Yep.
He's here.
Michael Big Poppy.
Again, we get a pass on this. We never brought him up.
Never got to the major leagues.
We never brought him up.
So you never developed him.
Yeah.
We tried.
And the one that really
I'm not gonna beat up our front office for that.
No, I agree. But also, I mean, how long do you keep guys in the minor leagues?
This next guy, though, we ruined this guy's career. The Guardians ruined this next name. We ruined his career.
Bobby Bradley.
Ruined his career. Listen,
he actually had something.
Most casual fans who only watch Major League Baseball don't know anything about our minor league system. Most of you will say, all we heard about was this Bobby Bradley's coming up. Bobby Bradley came up and didn't do anything. Okay?
Which isn't exactly totally true.
Well, he really
got
didn't
off
do
to
much.
a decently hot start.
Yeah, decent. But then again, once they started pitching him to his weaknesses, he couldn't make any adjustments whatsoever. He's just a strikeout king. But I'm here to tell you, if you knew anything about the Guardians minor league, Bobby Bradley was the best player in the minor leagues, in the Major League Baseball.
Easily.
I'm talking about the best player in minor league baseball. Minor league.
He should have been the number one prospect in baseball. And
he sat in the minor leagues behind average players, so they could manipulate his service time, because they thought for sure that Bobby Bradley was going to come up and be a star. They manipulated his service time until he was at least 25 years old. It was ridiculous amount of minor league at bats, and when he came up, he could not make the adjustments because all he had ever done was hit minor league pitching for years and years. That's all he'd ever done. We absolutely ruined Bobby Bradley, and he is, for me, him and Clint Frazier are examples number one and examples number two of ruining players' careers.
Yep. But you know what he did do? He played for the Savannah Bananas.
Well, that's true.
So I don't know what that says about him or about the Savannah Bananas, but apparently he led them in home runs a few years ago.
I bet he did.
To no one's surprise.
No one's surprised.
All right, let's hop to in 2016. There were no new names. There were no new names in 2016. So let's move to 2017, where Nolan Jones joins the party. And we know what he's doing right now.
Yep.
He's still trying to figure it out.
Yep. Still struggling to adjust.
You watch him every night. You know exactly what's going on with that.
Shows signs of maybe, and then
always shows signs of maybe.
Then not consistent.
Will Benson doesn't touch a baseball unless he's playing against the Guardians.
Against us, though, he's an all-star.
He's Barry Bonds.
If he played against the Guardians every day.
If he played 162 games against the Cleveland Guardians,
he'd be an all-star.
He'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he'd be great.
But other than that, guys, he's bounced back and forth from AAA.
Yeah, he really doesn't do much.
And he was another one who never even got a shot. They sent him out of here so fast. And the next name, Eric Gonzalez. I mean, we all know Eric Gonzalez.
Another prime example.
Shortstop, athletic, never a great bat.
Hot, got off to a little bit of a hot start.
Yeah.
And then
got some decent playing time.
Adjustments happened, and that was that.
That was that. He played for the Pirates for a little while. Actually had one decent season with the Pirates, I think.
Yep. Was
their starting shortstop for a minute. But he's got a 695 OPS in the Dominican Winter League last year. So that's where he's at.
Still playing.
I mean, he's trying, but no one ever developed him.
And remember, folks, again, if you don't know anything about the Guardians minor league system, these names were thrown out here at one time.
These were the top 10 prospects according to MLB.com.
Top 10 prospects ready to come up and ready to play Major League Baseball.
And Greg Allen, another perfect example. Greg Allen, all the tools in the world.
One of those trades.
In what?
I think we got him from the Padres, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not Greg Allen, no.
Who am I thinking of?
No, he was before that. That was I know who you're talking about. That was the kid from Green, or that was the kid in the Lindor trade that you're thinking of.
No, I'm thinking of Oscar
Mercado. We got him from St. Louis.
I'm thinking of Mercado.
Yeah, he was not a homegrown guy.
But you know what Greg Allen's doing right now? He's another one. He was a top 10 prospect in 2017 for Cleveland, and he has an 878 OPS in AAA for Chicago Cubs right now.
AAA for Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, he's tearing up Iowa.
He's what, 30?
He is the king of Iowa.
Yeah,
he's got to be. He's got to be 33, 30. He's got to be my age by now.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
Yandy Diaz, next name on that list. You all know what happened. They acted like there was no room for him.
Francona didn't like him.
Turns out he's a multi-time All-Star.
Yeah, and really, we left again. That was another service time thing.
Yep.
He was behind Jose at third base. He was behind Santana at first.
You know what's crazy about that, though?
We just moved him on.
You know what's wild about that is, I think Gio Urshela got more of a shot than Yandy Diaz did.
I will say this. I will say this. The best thing ever happened to Yandy Diaz was that trade because at least he got a bunch of major league at bats and they let him figure it out, and he became a great hitter.
They developed him in Tampa, and they turned him into a cornerstone of that franchise.
Don't act like we didn't get anything out of that trade too. Jake Bauer turned out. Jake Bauer turned out really good.
Who's also playing for another team right now and not hitting.
Well, he hit last year, I think. Didn't he?
Really.
For the Brewers.
Not really. He's still in Milwaukee.
If you call league average hitting, then yes.
Well, I call league average hitting for us.
Yeah, I think he's probably below
league average hitter.
Jump into 2018 real quick. Willie Castro. Those of you who don't know who Willie Castro is, he is playing a lot of infield for Minnesota right now, and he has an 848 OPS in 176 at bats because of injuries. He is tearing it up right now. We traded him to Detroit in the Leonis Martin trade, which at the time was probably a good trade.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad trade.
Leonis Martin did great things for us.
Remember, if Leonis Martin didn't get
but remember,
almost die.
If Willie Castro would have come up, But again, remember, if Willie Castro would have come up to AAA and been any kind of good player, he'd have sat there for 2.5 years for Guardians. Yep. He would have never come up because they'd have tried to manipulate his service time.
Yep. So we can't take any credit for his success.
None.
Because he never got to AAA for us.
Yeah.
Jump to 2019. Tyler Freeman joins the list. And guess what he's doing right now? Hitting 304 with an 813 OPS for Colorado.
And we never gave Tyler Freeman.
He never got a shot to play every day.
At the beginning of the season,
he played on Sunday.
Be the breakout player.
At the beginning of the season, before the trade, I called that he was going to be the breakout player of the year. Well, he is, but for another team.
He might be the Rockies' best player.
He and Brenton Doyle, two best players in Colorado right now. Next name on the list, Bo Naylor. We all know what he was in the minor leagues. He was bat first catcher, supposed to be.
And they kept talking about we got to work on his glove.
Yep, we got to work on his glove. We got to work on it. No, he's not ready. He needs more minor league at bats because he's got to work on pitch framing. That's what we need. We need him to frame pitches.
He got plenty of minor league at bats.
Meanwhile, we were getting zero production from the catcher position in the major leagues for at least 2 years in a row.
No way. It's been since
Roberto
before
Perez
he
had came
that
up.
Random 20
Roberto
home run
Perez
season.
had
Oh, that's right.
Season.
Roberto Perez hit what? Like 20 home runs?
Yeah, our catching position has been the worst in the league.
And before that, Jan Gomes had a silver slugger.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Haven't had anybody since.
That was it.
He was supposed to be the guy, but again, took a lot of minor league at bats and now struggling to make adjustments in the major
Doing
leagues.
the same exact thing. I'm talking same exact thing as Nolan Jones. It's always a maybe. He might have something there.
Show signs.
He just hit a ball 460 feet.
Maybe he'll break out of it.
Yeah, maybe it's time. He's taking walks this week. Look at that. His on-base percentage just climbed a couple points. It's always the maybes. Next name on the list, George Valera. How many games are you going to give him? I mean, the guy can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. Bring him up. What do you have to lose? You had to re-sign him as a minor league free agent.
Yeah, he was in the minor leagues for so many years.
He was a top 10 prospect in 2019.
And don't get me wrong. This is not all the Guardians' fault because he had injuries. It is what it is. But
he could have been up.
But he
should have been up 3 years ago.
He could have been up a long time ago to give him a shot at a younger age.
And you know what? Quite frankly, if he doesn't stay healthy in the major leagues, so be it.
Right. You're not paying him anything
on.
Anyway.
Then you move on.
But he never got a shot. And he may never get a shot.
He's still.
Well, if he gets hurt in the majors, you still have 7 years of control.
Exactly.
In the minors, you don't have that.
Exactly.
He became a minor. He was in the minors for so long. We left one of our top hitting prospects in the minors for so long. He became a minor league free agent.
A minor league free agent. You had to re-sign.
And
not only that, but George Valera turned down a deal. if I remember correctly, from the Dodgers.
I think it was the Red Sox.
Was it the
Yeah,
Red
it was the
Sox?
Red Sox.
Something like
to
that.
stay. No, it was the Cubs. It was the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs.
It was the Cubs.
A big market team wanted to sign
stay
him
in
to a
Cleveland,
minor
in the
league
minor
deal.
leagues in Cleveland.
And he decided, I'm comfortable.
Yep.
Well, he may not ever get a shot.
Well, he probably looked at our outfield and was like, "There's no
Yeah,
way
he's
I
like,
don't
I have
get
a
a shot
chance.
this year.
Yeah. Well,
There's no way."
To be fair, he should have probably broke camp because at what point do you just
we've been
bring 'em
sticking
up?
it. We've been sticking it to him for years. So here, might as well do another year.
Yeah.
And now Brian Rocchio, we've been watching him, his roller coaster ride.
He
now
goes to
for the
AAA.
last
He literally
3
looks
years.
exactly like Francisco Lindor every single time.
It's unbelievable.
And then he comes up and he looks like he's never swung a bat.
He is truly our biggest quad A player. Like he's never going to be a major league ready hitter, but in AAA he looks like an all-star every time he goes down, and it's a shame. It really is. He's another one on the top of the. We ruined so many minor league at bats. Now we did give him a full season of play last year, and he just could not make adjustments.
Couldn't figure it out.
Can't figure it out. Even started him out this year at shortstop, still couldn't figure it out. So
We're talking about
part of it is that confidence level, but the other part is how we handle players.
we're talking about a guy who
All these are not coincidence. by the way.
no, not at all. The organization had so much faith in this kid. His first spring training in the States, they put him in a major league spring training game. How old was he?
He was like
he was
16.
He was like 17 years old.
And
he's getting at bats because they wanted to show him what it's like to be on a major league roster and playing with major league hitters, and
Yep.
you know.
And I want to tell you, some of you are going to argue, okay, that you could say this about any team in Major League Baseball in their minor leagues, that there's always guys in the minor leagues that never make it. Okay. But we're not talking about the guy who was taken in the 27th round of the draft in 2018 Okay, we're not talking about
a lot of these guys are first round
These are
picks.
faces of our farm
these
system.
guys were the top prospects in our system.
A lot of these guys were first round picks and
You
highly
can't-
thought of international free agents.
Yeah, you can't say that about other teams' minor league. Their top guys come up and play.
No, they at least have two. 2 of their 10 at least come up
They
and
come up
play
and play.
Major League Baseball.
They come up
become-
and
play.
become normal
Become
Major League players.
Everyday players in the major leagues.
We're doing this because since Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez,
Francisco Lindor graduated from rookie status in 2015. That's why we started where we did on this
in
list.
2015 was the last time we brought up, and guess what? Those guys were 20 and 21 years old when we brought them up. And they got nothing but major league at-bats and got to work it out in the major leagues and figure it out, and they're both all-stars. They're both all-star caliber players.
And you're not-
Since then, we have developed no one like that. We've given no one that kind of shot at a young age.
We're not saying that that's the answer for everyone, because we understand you're going to bring guys up and they're going to flop. There are always going to be busts,
because you can't
Major
teach
League
the
Baseball
confidence.
is difficult.
Yeah, you can't teach the confidence level it takes to go through the valley of the way they do adjust you pitching.
Physical tools only take you so far.
Yeah, you can't. The mental part of it is another battle. We get that, all right. But we're talking this many guys that can't figure it out. We as an organization have a problem.
Yeah, that's
a lot
problem.
of this can't be mental now. It has to be developmental.
Yes.
Let's jump to 2020 real quick. This will be our last one before we take a little break. Aaron Bracho, he was part of that middle infield horde that they were keeping for how long, and not one of them worked out.
Yep.
And as of this year, he's hitting 194 for the Dodgers in Double-A.
Now again, I'm going to give us a pass on this one. We never brought him up.
No,
Like,
we didn't.
We gave him a lot of minor league at bats, but we never brought him up.
Agreed. And he's still young.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep.
I mean, he could catch on somewhere in Japan or Korea. Who knows? And then another name, Gabriel Rodriguez. The last baseball he's played was 4 games in the Venezuelan Winter League.
Yeah.
What can you say? What can you say at this point? These were young guys. These were young guys that barely made it out of our minor league system.
And listen, and we're not even getting into the Ernie Clements, who never could
No,
figure it out for
they
us.
weren't top prospects. But look what he's doing in Toronto.
Yeah, no.
He found some confidence, and someone got with him.
Yu Chang.
Yu Chang, guys. Yu Chang might be one of the best international baseball players in the entire WBC.
It's fine, but again,
he puts on a show in international baseball.
Well, I don't know if they're testing him.
I'm not
put on
listen,
like 50 pounds.
All I'm saying, I understand he's not a major league baseball player.
It's all good. Listen, it's all good because he had 10,000 minor league at bats.
He did.
So
absolutely.
Who's the other one? Miller.
Owen Miller.
Another one. Great minor league hitter. Came up, couldn't hit.
I'm talking great minor league hitter. I'm talking. You looked at his numbers and went, "Oh my gosh, he's going to be Freddie
Freeman." Yeah.
But man. And I mean, we haven't even mentioned Junior Caminero.
Yeah, literally, who was the top prospect in baseball.
The top prospect in baseball.
We traded him for a guy who then we got rid of.
Wait.
To the Brewers, and then he became a starter.
Wait, and who was the two-time AAA MVP?
Jonathan Rodriguez.
Oh, Jonathan Rodriguez on our roster right now with 10,000 minor league at-bats and trying to figure out in the major league.
Somehow you couldn't figure out how to develop him.
Two-time AAA MVP couldn't figure out how to get him up and get him hitting in the major leagues. Okay.
All right, let's take a break. Then we're going to go through from 2021 to 2025. We got some younger names on this list, and we want to talk about how we feel the development went for some of the older guys and how we feel it should go for some of the younger guys. If you're serious about your game, you've got to check out 44 Pro. They make fully customizable baseball or softball gear made with pro-level quality. And the best part? You design it your way. From colors to stitching, every detail is yours to choose. And here's a bonus. Use code DHGuards25, that's DHGUARDS25, and get 25% off now through the end of July. Order today and get great custom gear delivered right to your door. Click the link in the episode description below and start creating your gear. 44 Pro. Custom is better. All right, we're back. Let's start in 2021. We're going to get right back into it here. Who joins the list other than our very own Gabriel Arias?
Yeah.
I thought he was the next Fernando Tatis when we got him.
Well, I'll put it this way. We had conversations.
He swings as hard as Fernando Tatis.
Agreed. We had conversations.
Throws about as hard as him.
About the only reason Gabriel Arias isn't up is because he's blocked by generational talent Fernando Tatis Jr. And they work out together and they're best friends, and in the offseason they basically live together and all this stuff, and he works out with Tatis's dad, and
yeah,
boy, that didn't work.
Listen, to Gabriel Arias' defense,
he was never that great of a hitter to begin with.
Actually, he was a really good AAA hitter. And
I thought he was, at least.
But we left him in AAA for a long time. We really did leave him in there for a long time. He wasn't even that old, but we left him there for a long time.
Then we left him all of last year.
Yeah.
Then when we did bring him up and he struggled, we threw him right back into AAA again.
We had talked about. I remember
we destroyed his confidence.
Yeah.
And now don't get me wrong. Now right now, Gabriel Arias looks like a major league shortstop. Right. In the
defensively,
field,
absolutely.
In the field,
he's one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball.
He makes great plays. His arm, he makes all the plays. And he at least he looks like he wants to be in a game. Because last year he looked like he was done, like he didn't want to play in a game.
Yeah, it wasn't even competitive for him. But
now at least he looks like he wants to be there. He's trying. But now you're seeing this is his true level of hitting ability. Like he is a little below average. He's
reached his ceiling at the plate.
Hitter.
They never developed him.
So you have a guy.
There's like no contact in his swing.
Yeah, you have a guy.
Zero contact.
So you have a guy who can play short really well, and he's going to be a 9 hitter in your lineup. Like that's just who he is.
Not a very good
so
one.
if he's playing on a really good team with a bunch of good hitters, he could be a contributor.
Yeah, for sure. There is someone like
he's not playing on that kind of team.
If you throw him on the New York Yankees right now,
if Mookie Betts got hurt, and they needed a defensive shortstop.
Gabriel Arias is the perfect option.
Absolutely. But for us, on a team that actually needs a guy to hit, he's just not going to be that guy.
No, and gosh, we had such high hopes for him. I remember conversations.
He swung exactly like Tatis. I was like, this is the guy.
Listen,
I remember conversations saying, okay, it's time. We need to plug him directly into shortstop and let him play.
But listen, in our minds, he was a top of the order hitter. Like we felt like he could be a guy like that.
Yeah.
The reality
we were going to be like,
is,
all right, we're going to trade Lindor, and we might not get anything back, but we have
right.
We have a guy,
But
a replacement.
But the reality of it is, since Lindor got traded, how many years ago?
A long time ago now.
And since then,
4 years.
4 years, and since then, Gabriel Arias has gotten mostly AAA at bats, and we have turned him into a quad A hitter, and that's what he is.
Yep.
We got to live with it now.
And he goes on a streak because he's got great power.
Yep, as long as he is going to be our shortstop.
But he has no poolside power, so his power doesn't mean anything in a game.
Right. So we have to come to the conclusion. You got to come to the conclusion that he's a bottom of the order hitter. He's just that guy. We got to rely on him to play a great shortstop and be a leader in the field and use his arm to help us make plays. And then at the bottom of the order, you just go when he's streaky, he hits, and when he's not, he doesn't. And that's the bottom of an order hitter. That's what a bottom of the order hitter guy does.
Moving on to another member of that middle infield horde, Jose Tena, who showed some signs of life.
But he was never like.
Well, I'll put it this way:
He wasn't even a great AAA hitter.
No, but listen, Angel Martinez was highly regarded as a young prospect, and Jose Tena is the reason why Angel Martinez was playing third base.
Yeah, Jose Tena was a minor league Gold Glover.
Jose Tena was a minor league Gold Glover.
Again, but Jose Tena couldn't even hit in AAA.
No, and I don't think he was ever going to be a superstar bat.
We're getting a pass. I got to give the team a pass.
He never got
on Jose
a shot
Tena.
either, though.
I got to give Jose. I got to give him a pass on Jose Tena. He was never a great hitter. He never showed even in the minors he was a great hitter.
I think he put together a better streak than
Angel Martinez was a better minor league hitter than Jose Tena.
I can agree with that.
Come on.
Yeah, but he's next on this list.
You can't throw Tena on that list.
Angel Martinez next on the list.
I hate to be the one defending our front office on this one.
Let me just finish this by saying Jose Tena now is putting up consistently utility man numbers in Washington. So he's not a starting level middle infielder.
Yeah, right. But he's a great defender.
Yeah, and he's going to be a utility man for a while.
He is their,
for sure.
He is their Gabriel Arias.
Good for them. He's probably the perfect fit for them. Angel Martinez next on the list. He's streaky at best.
Well, no, listen. He came up this year. Got on a little hot streak.
He did,
but
just like everyone else.
Now they've made the adjustments.
Well, he did it the first year he came up too.
Yeah.
I get it, but there wasn't a lot of data on him that first year. It was just a handful of at-bats. This year, there's plenty of data on him. Now they're attacking his weaknesses, and he's struggling. He is struggling.
So here's my question.
Can he make the adjustment? This is his adjustment period. Angel Martinez is right now where we are trying to figure out if he can make adjustments.
Well, here's my question. In the scenario where Lane Thomas is doing what you traded for him to do and hit left-handed pitching, and you didn't get rid of Tyler Freeman, does Angel Martinez even get at bats?
He's probably a AAA
Probably
All-Star.
in AAA.
He's a AAA All-Star right now.
There you go.
That's what we do. He's a AAA All-Star.
There it is.
But listen, Angel's right now in the spot where he needs to make the adjustments. Do they believe that he can make the adjustments? Can he make the adjustments? That's what we're waiting to see.
Yeah, the jury's still out. And the guys on the rest of this list, the jury is still out. Yep. We don't know. We don't know what these guys are going to be.
That's right.
And we don't want to add them to the list of failed prospects.
Oh, no. No, some of these guys are still trying to work it out.
That's the whole point. I think Arias hit his ceiling. I think in 2021, Gabriel Arias was a top 10 prospect. I think that is the last name on this list that hit their ceiling, and they are who they are. Except for the next name on this list, and Will Brennan.
Will Brennan's not, yeah.
Will Brennan, we're probably not going to see him anymore. No. He had Tommy John, and I think
he had plenty of major league at bats. Yeah. Couldn't make the adjustments that he needed to make.
He just of anyone on this list had more major league experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So imagine playing as Pete Wheeler in Backyard Baseball, and you only have the grounder setting.
Who's going to get that reference? Who's going to get that reference?
But he has
everyone.
But it's the one where he's having a bad day, so his running is all the way down. So every time you hit the ball on the ground, it's a double play.
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Moving on. 2023 top 10 prospect Chase DeLauder.
Bring him up.
Bring him up. It's time.
Bring him up right now.
It's time. He should have broke camp with the team last year.
Bring him up.
There was literally no reason for him to...
He doesn't need any more AAA at bats.
There was no reason...
Major League at bats. Bring him up.
There was no reason for him to get injured.
You're not in first place.
In the minor leagues.
You're not in first place. You're not holding on to a division lead by 3 games. You're not bringing him up. Bring him up. You're not
not
even,
only that,
right
but
now.
it's
You're
not
not
even
even going
about
to make you're not even going to make a playoff spot. Right
It's
now.
not even
Bring
about
him
that.
up.
You're one game out of the wild card, and Chase DeLauder probably makes you better if he gives you healthy at bats.
Yeah, not bringing him up is a blatant,
At worst,
blatantly trying to manipulate service time.
Our third
at worst,
blatantly.
he's your second best hitting outfielder. At worst,
Our third and fourth best position players in the organization are not on the main roster.
agreed.
That's
100%.
That's just crazy.
And it is- and
no
it is-
other team in baseball has that.
And it is, again, 100% service manipulation that has backfired on the organization to
and
the
of
point
course-
where we can't get
Yep.
into the playoffs.
It backfired in the form of injuries.
Yep.
So here they are again, and they could have shipped him out to San Francisco on the off day on Monday, but guess what? They didn't, because someone's going to sit there and say, "Well, we want
We
him
really
to
want
get
him to face Bubba
consistent."
Chandler
Yeah, we want him to
today.
play Bubba Chandler, who is also being manipulated, by the way.
Pittsburgh, which is another reason why they can't win, by the way.
It's unbelievable. So moving on to 2024.
So is that what we're doing? We're becoming the Pittsburgh Pirates now? Is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to become the Pittsburgh
I would
Pirates?
We have
argue-
very
Manipulate
similar
everybody's service time.
ideas.
I would argue that over the last 10 years, we've had better talent.
We definitely have. But
I would argue
well,
we've
no.
had better talent
No.
in the minor leagues. than
pitching talent.
I'd argue we've had Jose Ramirez to carry our major
Yeah, that's
leagues,
true.
and that's the only reason we're not the Pittsburgh Pirates right
Yeah.
now.
That's true.
Yeah, and we've had great coaching, and the Pirates haven't had a good coach.
That's true, too.
Since
And we've had and overall we've had much better starting pitching and definitely better bullpen pitching than
well, there's no doubt the organization develops great starting pitchers.
Yeah.
and bullpen arms.
Yep.
But
But again, that's fine because they don't come up until they're 26 years old either.
You-
But
you get what you can out of them. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
Jeez.
we really get the most out of them.
2024, Kyle Manzardo. The jury's still out on him. He's really, really struggling.
Really struggling.
Right now.
Yeah,
People are
I hate to
downplaying
see
his
it.
struggle a lot right now.
I
He is
really hate to see it.
I don't know why, unless he
John
was,
Kenzie Noel levels of struggle right now.
but the
Truly,
thing,
truly worse because he's playing more.
And again-
he's getting more at bats.
again, a bunch of minor league at bats.
he was getting AAA at bats in Tampa.
Ridiculous minor league at bats. But
Yeah, literally, he was in AAA already for Tampa when we traded for him. And
He
then
was locked
did
in.
it.
Yeah.
He was locked in
But really-
behind Yandy Diaz.
But
Like,
really
he wasn't getting a shot.
really surprising that he can't make the adjustments faster than what he's been able to do.
Is that an indictment on him or is that an indictment on the
don't know.
organization?
I don't know. I mean, he's another quad A kind of player because he took 5,000 minor league at bats. Like he became a minor league player.
It's a different game.
Like,
when the adjustments are different,
Yes,
they
they
just
really
are. There's nothing really
now,
else
I don't
you
think
can
his
say.
confidence is shook, so to speak. I think he still looks
because
like
he's still
working.
swinging.
Yeah, he's still
I
swinging.
mean,
he's still looking like
he's
working.
not timid.
He's swinging a little too much right now to try to
Probably
get
he's trying to do a little too much.
I don't
which
really have a
mind
problem with that.
I don't mind that.
242 on base over his last 30.
That's,
it's bad.
that's
on base, not average.
horrible.
Well, he's trying to swing his way out of the slump for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But we'll
That's
see.
30 games
But
of trying
again,
to swing yourself out.
The jury's still out on him and Angel Martinez. They're both. This is where they are trying to make adjustments to their hitting and
Yeah,
their
this-
careers. This is where they got. And if they come out the other side as good hitters and have been able to make the adjustments, then we win.
June and July are going to be very telling months for both of them.
Yep, agreed.
Ralphie Velasquez, good Lord, do not allow Ralphie to get ruined by this organization.
Well, let me see. This is his second full season of single high A baseball. Like what are we doing? Move him up.
It's
The
him
kid
and
is a
him and
special
Alphonse and
talent.
Rosario need to be in AA.
He's a special talent. He should already be in AA, looking to move him to AAA
It's not even
quickly.
It's not even that Ralphie is just a special talent. Ralphie is a superstar personality.
Yes.
He is a extremely smart baseball player. He's making adjustments. He was so young when he came to the organization as a catcher, and now he's playing primarily first base and corner outfield.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They've got to move him. For him to still be in high A is kind of absurd. But.
Unbelievable. Jason Churio dealing with injuries this year, and I'm not sure he's going to be on the level of his brother in Milwaukee, but I think there's something there. I don't know if it's superstar, but there's definitely something there. There's an all-star in there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
The jury is way out on him. He's super young. I just hope they don't move too slow on him. You know.
Yeah.
Don't overstay his welcome.
Right.
In
But we're going to slow roll him for sure if he's any good.
Well, the injuries are helping.
Yep.
Just like the Lauder.
It's true.
It's allowing them to slow play. Juan Brito, another one. I will say, he did spend a lot of time in AAA. He came up young, but he spent a lot of time in AAA.
He has had a lot of AAA.
But he would have been up already.
I'm a little worried about Juan Brito because Juan Brito spent a lot of time in AA and AAA. A lot of time. And when he got into spring training this year, he looked like he did not belong on the field. He really struggled. So I am worried about him being able to come up and make the adjustment. So I am worried about it. I think we may have already sabotaged him.
The thing about Juan Brito is he mashes lefties, but there's a big difference between a AAA lefty and a major league lefty.
Yeah,
exactly
right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So. That jury's still out on that. We'll see if he gets a shot. And who knows? Maybe they leave him down for another 500 AAA at bats before they bring him up, and then we'll really.
Well, they really want him to work through this injury, so he's going to have to do the whole year.
Yeah,
then we'll really ruin him.
He's going to do the whole year in the Arizona Complex League.
Yeah, then we'll really ruin him. We'll give him another 500 AAA at bats.
Yeah, he'll play AAA to start the year next year, and then, he might have to play a corner outfield, so he's got to get some reps out there.
Yeah.
Next name on the list, we're into 2025 now. This year's top hitting prospects, Cooper Engel.
He should have been in AAA to start the year.
He should have been. I think he's a pretty polished hitter.
Easily the best hitting catcher in our organization.
I think he's the best pure hitter in our organization.
I think, yeah.
But you know what it's going to be?
He's in AA, and he was a 4-year college guy.
Yeah.
And he's
there's no
AA.
reason for him to still be in AA.
Why wouldn't he be in AAA?
And he was already in AA last year.
But it's going to be.
So why is he in AA?
There's nothing for him to prove in AA. He needs to come up and prove he can play in AAA.
It's just like Peterson. Why was he in AA?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But guys, he needs to work on his defense.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
We're going to Bo Naylor this guy, too.
Yeah. Because that worked out.
So by the time he gets his thousands at bat in AAA and we bring him up, he won't be able to make adjustments either.
Yeah. Next name, Welbin Francisca. Super young.
Yeah.
Super young.
Yeah.
Way off.
Again, jury's still out.
Yeah, the jury is way out on him.
Hopefully we don't ruin him.
So much talent there.
That's one to keep an eye on because hopefully we don't ruin him.
He has a lot of talent there. Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to a fast track on him, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Nope.
CJ Kafis. I saw a stat.
Should be up.
I saw a stat that said there are only, There are only 2 players in professional baseball, meaning the majors and minor leagues, that are hitting better than 340 and have an OPS of 1.2 or something like that.
Aaron Judge.
It's Aaron Judge and CJ Kafis.
Well, again, whatever crazy stat you want to throw out there, and it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, he has proven at every level he's a great hitter.
He does it. He just does it.
They need to fast track him up and get him on the field and get a major league at bats, not AAA at bats. AAA at bats are not helping him right now. They're not developing anything. We need to move him up.
I'm at the point now where I do not care about his metrics and his Baseball Savant page. Like,
no,
he's done this for half a year now.
Is he going to put the bat on the ball?
Mean something.
Is he going to put the bat on the ball? Is he going to do it hard?
Let's go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
put him up.
That's it.
I mean, it makes
it's that simple at this point. What do you have to lose?
What are his AAA bats gaining him? What is he improving on? Nothing.
Well,
get him up.
So
he needs more games in right field.
He needs
hasn't
games
played enough
in right field.
Whatever excuse you want to make.
But then
he needs 300 at bats in right field.
Yeah, but then DeLauder and Valera came back, so I don't know. I don't even know if he's played right field
because we have defensive all-stars in our major league team in right field. Okay,
right.
You don't like the defensive all-star Nolan Jones?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
his -1
and Lane
defensive
Thomas, defensive Gold Glove center fielder.
He hardly. And honestly, probably the 2 best prospects in our system, Angel Hanau and Travis Bazzana.
Okay, Angel Hanau is the best prospect in our minor league system. He is. He's young. I think he's 21 years old.
I think.
And
is he 21?
And I hate to tell everybody. I hate to tell everyone.
He might be 20.
How old was Francisco Lindor when he came up?
21.
21 years old when he came up. This kid is still in AA, and if they put him on our AAA roster, he'd be the best player on that team.
Angel Hanau spent some time on the injured list, came back from Arizona.
He's 21.
Where is he? AA?
Yep.
He's in Akron.
Remember, folks, he's in
Also-
AA.
and-
Francisco Lindor was up at 21.
Yeah.
This is the next Francisco Lindor, and he's in AA because they're trying to manipulate his time.
They're slow playing him like crazy, and he could be a franchise shortstop.
He's not working on anything in AA. He's not working on anything. They need to get him up to AAA, and he should be a September call-up this year.
Who's the dude playing short at AAA right now? Is like Cairo or something? Some guy I've literally never heard
I can tell
of.
you he's not Angel Ganal. I can tell you that, and he never will be.
It's like Miguel Cairo or something.
Yeah.
Someone who will never play Major League Baseball.
No.
Wow. Well, all I know is Angel now needs to at the very least, finish the year at AAA.
He should be at AAA right now. He should be starting shortstop at AAA now.
He should be getting reps at short over Brian Rocchio right now.
In fact, I don't even
let Brian Rocchio play second base.
In fact, I don't even know if AAA at bats are going to help him be a better player. He's as good a 21-year-old player as you can be. It's
hard to say.
So I don't know what you're going to do.
And the one that scares me.
Are you going to wait till he's 25 to get him up? I mean, what are we doing?
The one that scares me the most, because he's
People
kind
in
of
his
a
draft
guy.
class are already up.
Not only that, but he's kind of a guy who's known to be really analytical and in his head. Travis Bazzana.
Oh yeah, definitely give him 1,000 minor league at-bats to figure it out.
You put him in
drive
an
himself
organization.
crazy.
You put him in an organization where they slow play prospects, they don't develop prospects, they manipulate your service time. They started him in single A. He was the number 1 overall pick.
Okay, listen, and here's the most ridiculous part of that statement Brent just made. He was the best college baseball player in America.
The consensus number
best.
1 college baseball player.
We put him in high A ball with a bunch of 18-year-olds.
And don't be fooled, because
Are you kidding
Let
me?
me tell you right now, Kansas City with Jack Caglianone, if they had the number 1 overall pick, they're taking Travis Bazzana because of the profile. He's a well-rounded hitter. You don't
Guess
take
who hit in major leagues this year
You don't
already?
take a first baseman with contact and swing and miss issues as the number 1 overall pick, or else the Guardians would have taken Caglianone, or they would have taken Nick Kurtz. I mean, there are certain things as a major league franchise that you have to value.
So again, here it is. We took the best player in college baseball
that
and we put
anyone
him
would have taken
in
at number 1.
high A. And now we're slow rolling him through AA. He got an injury now.
And the injury,
the
injury is helping them manipulate
his time. So he's just going to sit in AA for the rest of this season. And then maybe he doesn't start out in AA. He should have gone to AAA out of the draft. He should have never played a single A or AA game in his career. He should have went straight to AAA and got as many at-bats as he could get in AAA and then been up.
Especially if we were trading Jimenez, which apparently we were, was the plan.
You had plans to trade your starting second baseman.
For Travis Bazzana to have played an entire end of a season in single A, and then he should have came up and finished the season in single A, AAA last year, and then this year broke camp at AAA.
He should have at least started in
At least AA. At least AA. He should have been AAA. He's the best player in college baseball, for God's sake.
And for those of you doubting Travis Bazzana, you don't know enough about him. Between his physical tools and his mental capabilities,
mental issues.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, he no matter what, no matter how well he plays, is always going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's never going to settle. He is always going to want to be the best, and that's what's going to make him great.
The biggest fear we have with Travis Bazzana
is that the organization gets a hold of him. That's the biggest fear. He spends too long working with the organization.
It's not. The biggest fear with Travis Bazzana is he is always in his own head thinking about how to be, I got to get this, I got to work on this, I got to get that. And if you leave him in AA, that's all he will do. If you bring him up and let him get major league bats and he's learning on the field, listen, there was a reason why.
He's going to take his lumps.
There was a reason why you drafted Bryce Harper at 19 years old out of a JUCO.
18, right?
And
he played JUCO at 17.
And you brought him up to the major leagues right away was because you couldn't leave him down to develop against double. You had to bring him up to the competition level so he could meet the competition level. Travis Bazan is the number 1 draft pick. He's always met the competition level. You got to bring him up and let him work it out.
Yeah, agreed. So let's take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk trade deadline expectations. Buying tickets shouldn't feel like a game of hidden fees and surprise markups. That's why we use TickPick. Whether it's concerts, sports, or theater, TickPick makes it easy to find great seats at fair prices without those sneaky service fees. What you see is what you pay. It's fast, it's easy, and honestly, it's the only trustworthy site to buy tickets. All you have to do is find the link in the episode description and start saving. It's really that simple with TickPick. Same seats, better prices. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a brief discussion of the trade deadline. It's way too early, but Rafael Devers was just moved to San Francisco. Don't be surprised if that kicks up to
nobody.
Well, not. I mean,
they got some players now.
They got something,
and they got rid of a disgruntled guy. I mean, I get it.
They're losing a franchise cornerstone, but they're gaining the ability to have a more well-adjusted clubhouse with a lot of young talent.
Yeah, and they brought up their young talent. That's right.
They did.
They brought up their young guys. They brought up a bunch of 21 and 22-year-olds.
They're in the same exact spot as Cleveland right now, fighting for a wild card.
Yep.
Yeah, but they actually call people up.
Are we fighting?
They're calling.
Are we fighting for a wild card?
Somehow we're still right there. I don't know how
anymore.
If the Guardians traded Jose for that, there would be bomb threats at Progressive Field.
That's true.
For sure. Yeah, how many losers for the last many years saying that Rafael Devers is better than Jose Ramirez?
Let's not pretend.
There you go.
Let's not pretend that.
Now you know how the league values him.
Let's not pretend. No. Let's not pretend that Rafael Devers.
Apparently, the Red Sox didn't shop him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're
Posey got a hold.
But you're missing the point. Let's not pretend Rafael Devers was as good in the locker room as Jose Ramirez.
No,
he's not. Jose Ramirez is a true leader. Everyone loves him. He helps the young guys. He tries to teach. Devers was not doing any of that.
He can hit though.
He
can hit.
He can hit.
And David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez both came out and said, yeah, he just couldn't figure it out. We tried to mentor him, and he just wasn't having it.
Yeah.
So he thinks he's bigger than the game. Well,
but anyway,
eventually comes back to bite you.
Let's get back to what are we going to do at the trade deadline? That's the question.
So let's start this way. Do you believe they're going to be buyers or sellers? Or do you think they're going to hold?
Like we're going to hold like we do all the time.
Like we do every single year.
Now listen, I think we're going to get offers for people.
Oh, the phone lines are open.
Because I will tell you this much. From a perception of the league is going to perceive us as sellers because we are not. When was the last time?
They don't care that we're one game back. They think we suck.
We always make the playoffs.
They're right.
We're not.
They would be correct.
Listen, technically, let's put this in perspective. We're not one game back. Like we're not in the hunt for a division title. We're getting smoked in the division.
No. What are we, 9 games back now?
We're in a battle with a bunch of 500 teams for a wild card spot.
Who are, by the way, who have played better teams than we have.
Yes. So we're not really, I think from a league perspective, seeing our roster and how badly we're hitting the ball and our starting pitching never doing what we had hoped it would do by now.
Can't throw strikes.
With our bullpen not being as strong as it was last year we have 8 guys, I think, out with injuries.
When you're the greatest bullpen ever assembled, you're like the Avengers of a bullpen.
Yeah, but we're not anymore.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You have one season of being the greatest bullpen in the history of baseball, and you're going to regress.
Well, no, we didn't regress.
You are.
No, we're not regressing. Listen, here's the bottom line.
You're not getting the same.
We're worse than that.
You're not getting all-time production from your back end of your bullpen.
No, get your facts right. The reality is,
we're hitting way
in
worse
Major League Baseball, there's only 2 teams that have as many pitchers injured as we do. 2.
But it's not
The
about our
Dodgers.
pitching.
All of our bullpen guys that were available last year are hurt.
But
so
everyone's
let's stop
bad.
talking like our bullpen's the same bullpen and they're just not pitching as well. That's
The
not
whole
true.
roster isn't playing good.
That's not
though.
true. Because I
1
agree,
through
our whole roster's
26
not
we're
playing
not
well.
very good.
But our bullpen pitching is because of injuries. Period. That's the bottom line. Our bullpen pitching is not pitching well because of injuries.
Now,
And
I do
Gaddis.
have to say, I got to throw that one out there. Hunter Gaddis is carrying what somebody that I spoke with recently called a fake ERA because he has inherited a ton of runners that have scored.
I agree
I'm
with
just
that.
throwing that one out there.
But
But they're scoring while he's pitching.
Yeah, but guess what?
Exactly.
But guess what? To Hunter Gaddis' defense,
Your
there was
job
like-
is to make the hold there.
No, there were 3 other big-time arms that filled those roles last year. He didn't have to fill every single tough spot we were in. He didn't have to come in every single
When you
time.
pitch good, you get expectations.
So,
you should pitch better.
We had a much healthier bullpen last year, and the reality was our bullpen's not as good this year because we are not healthy. We have one of the worst pitching injuries in all baseball. Number of players. We have like 8 pitchers that have been injured that are out, and we can't pitch them. And most of them are bullpen guys.
But the core, ultimately, the core is still there. Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, Emmanuel Clase.
yeah, but last year there was like 3 other guys we could throw in there
Yeah,
with them, and they're
agreed.
not there now.
Agreed.
They're
And
throwing every single
doesn't help.
leverage situation is the same guys
Yep.
now. It's not, and again, you can't judge them based on last year compared to this year. It's not the same year. This is a totally different pitching situation they're in than they were last year.
Our third best reliever is Matt Festa.
Hey, Matt Festa.
Hey, they're lucky to have him because they
I'll
had to
tell you
throw,
what.
they threw him in because we got so many guys hurt. We had to throw Matt Festa in.
Is it Matt Festa or is it Brian Shaw?
You know,
Prime Brian Shaw.
they're using up Matt Festa's arm because we got nobody else to throw.
Well, good on him. I hope he has a career year because we need him to.
Gonna have a career year in innings pitched. I can tell you that.
Okay, so are you thinking buyers, sellers, or hold?
I think from a league perspective, we're going to be considered sellers, and everyone's going to make offers for our players. Now, that might lead to us going, "Wow, we can't pass up that offer." So we may wind up being sellers. We might not be intentional sellers,
right, not with
but
the intention of packing it
But
in.
there might be some offers that we go, "Wow, we can't pass that up."
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean,
We've passed up a lot of offers the past
We
decade
have.
of baseball.
we
so
have
But let's tie
Shane
it.
Bieber still
but
on the
again-
roster.
But again,
And Andy Pajes
We
could have
could
been our
have
starting
Bryce
center
Harper.
fielder.
But let's tie this into: Are you bringing up Kafis? Are you bringing up DeLauder? Are you
Right.
bringing up? Are you
Agreed.
bringing Engel? Are you bringing up these guys up, or are you going to let them rot in minor leagues?
Well,
Because
yeah, we don't
why
trade 'em
buy?
either.
Why buy or sell if you're just going
And
to let
that's-
our best players rot in the minor leagues? Why buy or sell? Just ride it out.
And we come
lose.
full circle. When I say the organization does not have a philosophy regarding prospects, you aren't developing superstars. You're
not trading
slow
players
playing.
for
You're-
superstars.
You're not trading players for superstars. You're not calling players up to become superstars.
Right? I mean,
So what? What are we doing?
And think about this at the trade deadline, right? Out of all the guys on our roster right now, we really only have maybe 3 or 4 guys that are actually playing decent baseball, and they even struggled this past week, but not overall. You got Stephen Kwan, you got Jose Ramirez, you got Daniel
Daniel
Schneemann.
Schneeman's probably our third best
Schneeman's
player
our
right
third
now.
best player.
Keep it rolling, baby.
He's rolling. I'm all about it. Go ahead.
I'm
Go get it,
screaming
Daniel
for
Schneemann.
Schneemann.
Because they let you rot in the minor leagues too, and now you came up and at least are making adjustments and
There you
you're
go.
figuring it out. And the fourth one is
Carlos
Bybee?
Santana? Oh.
Bybee and Ciccone.
Yeah.
Those 2 pitchers. So,
They've been up and down.
So 5 guys on our entire roster that you would keep right now. And everyone else is available. They're available.
True. I mean, the talk is that the number 1 trade candidate right now on our roster would be Emmanuel Clase, because you have bullpen depth and you have guys that could take the ninth inning.
Cade Smith could walk in to be our
Cade
closer
Smith
tomorrow.
could be one of the best closers in baseball.
Yep.
And you would lose the luxury of having a 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, you lose a leverage guy.
Don't get me wrong.
But you get a closer, and who knows what you could get for Clase.
Right,
I agree.
and that's the thing.
That's why I'm saying we might be buyers, unintentional sellers. Because if someone comes along and makes a good enough offer for Class A, I don't see how you can turn it down knowing you're going to struggle to make a wild card spot.
And it sounds insane to say that you could move Class A and be a better team on the other side of it.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility.
We're not losing games because Class A is blowing games for us this
No, not at all.
No.
How many save situations has he
we
been
love
in?
Class A.
He has 14 saves.
Cade Smith, Class A. I mean, holy smoke. I mean, you're talking two of the best bullpen guys in baseball.
Yeah.
In all of baseball.
Yeah, he's only got 14 saves this year. Is that even top 10? I don't think that's top 10.
We haven't been in a position for him to make.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we're not in the position for him to make it. We don't score enough runs for him to make saves.
Yeah, the amount of times he hasn't pitched in enough days, so we just have to throw him in a game this year.
Yeah, we throw him in a game, we're losing by 3 runs.
Yeah, we're down 7-1
because he's got to get work.
He's got to throw.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a world where you have a chance to move Class A, Santana. Somebody wants Santana. There is a contender that needs first base production, and he's going to give you potentially top 10 first base production.
And we all
this
love
year.
we all love Santana.
I think he will. Ultimately, by the end of the year, I think he's going to be a top 10 first
He's
baseman.
a really good pro hitter. He knows how to get on base. He knows how to help your team, and you don't have to bat him in the top of your order.
And
he could be a 6-7 hitter and be
exactly
really good for
on
you.
a real contender. He's a 7 hitter that takes walks and hits some doubles.
I will guarantee you, if someone's first baseman is not playing well or is hurt, and you're a contender, you're asking about Carlos Santana.
San Diego. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Hey, next week though, we should talk about like who we might trade for. Who would you trade for?
Yeah, we'll put that together. I think that would be good timing.
Because this is good timing because like you said, if we continue to slide,
I don't want to talk about the Guardians anymore.
Yeah,
if they're gonna play
if
we're not going to talk about games as long as they continue to go this way.
Again, I don't want to end the show in a negative way.
No, but
bright spots. We still got Jose. Quan is still Quan. Daniel Schneeman's playing great.
Quan, we didn't ruin because we didn't even know he was good, and then he had a good spring training, and we were like, "Oh, you have to be on the roster."
We don't have another option.
Wait,
Bobby,
and look at him. He's a 3-time Gold Glover and one of the best pure hitters in baseball.
Bobby, who's a solid number one starter,
and he'll be there for a while.
He's going to be there for a long time. And then you got Ciccone, who's the surprise starter of the year so far,
and he's only going to get better.
And we got the two of the best bullpen arms in all of baseball at the back end of our rotation. So
and it's okay. It's okay to have expectations.
Not everything's a negative, but our offense is really, really struggling.
The reason why we're so disappointed and why we have such high expectations is because we feel like these guys should be performing better.
Yeah,
we feel like they have more talent than the way that they are playing.
I feel like as an we felt, and again, this is 2 weeks in a row we talked about this. We feel like as an organization, we have not done these players a service by leaving them in the minor leagues for so long, not giving them the opportunities, not giving them the at-bats, and they come up and they lack the confidence, they lack the ability to make the adjustments, and that's our fault as an organization. It's too many guys that we've proven and shown for them not to be.
Listen, guys. The problem isn't power. The problem is we need to score more runs. We just haven't figured out how to do that over the last 7 years.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Thank you, Chris Antonetti.
Well done.
Well done. You know what? Matter of fact, we're not hanging your autograph pictures until you turn this thing around.
I'm hanging his autograph picture.
Hey, now.
You might want to cut that.
Listen, I might have to cut that one.
The bottom line is, Antonetti, bring these players up. Let them play Major League Baseball. Bring them up. Bring our best players up.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
You couldn't get the exit out.
Please like, subscribe, favorite, rate, or review. Maybe not review. Maybe don't give us a bad
Not on
review.
This show.
Depending on your platform of choice, and maybe don't interact on this one.
Don't interact on this show.
You can find us on YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you listen to your podcast. Check out our giveaway on Twitter. We have 4 weeks of giveaways with the winner of this week's giveaway, a Gabriel Arias autograph card that you can put in your wall of shame. We're going to announce on next week's show. So it's time to see some changes from this organization. The talent is there. Just cut them loose. Until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, Go Guards.
See ya.